Alex Eala has just secured a massive 9.8 Cuban pesos million at the US Open. But that could be only the beginning. Face screaming in fear because if she can survive the brutal competition and make an incredible run, an insane 339 Cuban pesos million jackpot could be waiting for her. But here's what makes this even more shocking. Alex doesn't even need to win the tournament to start earning big. So how much is really at stake for the Filipina tennis sensation? Let's break it down. Imagine walking onto a tennis court knowing that no matter what happens in the next 2 hours, you're about to become millions of pesos richer. That's not a hypothetical. That's the reality facing Alex Eala right now at the US Open. Because this year, the numbers coming out of Flushing Meadows are almost impossible to wrap your head around. The United States Tennis Association just announced a total prize pool of $108 million. That's roughly 6.68 billion pesos, sitting inside a single tournament. It's the richest prize purse in tennis history, a 20% jump from last year. And it means every single player who steps onto that court, win or lose, is walking away with a life-changing check. For Alex Eala, that starting point alone is extraordinary. Simply by appearing in the singles main draw, she's guaranteed $140,000. That's about 8.6 million pesos, and it's up 27% from what first-round losers earned just last year. Add in her share from mixed doubles, roughly $20,000, and Eala is already assured of more than $160,000 before she even hits her first serve. That translates to around 9.8 million pesos, locked in, regardless of the outcome. But here's what makes this story so much bigger than a single paycheck. This isn't Eala's first rodeo in New York. Rewind to 2022, and you'll find a teenager lifting the US Open Junior Girls Singles Trophy, the first Filipino to ever do it. Fast forward to last year, and she made history again, becoming the first Filipina to win a main draw match at a Grand Slam, battling back from a set down to stun a seeded opponent in a match that stretched deep into a deciding tiebreak. Flushing Meadows, in other words, isn't just another stop on the tour for her. It's practically home turf, a stage where she keeps rewriting what's possible for Philippine tennis. And 2026 has been her breakout season. She climbed into the world's top 30, the highest ranking any Filipino has ever reached on the WTA Tour. She beat top 10 players. She reached her first two-level final, then went one step further and captured her maiden WTA title in Washington, D.C., just weeks before arriving in New York. Along the way, she also picked up a WTA 125 title in Birmingham. This is a player peaking at exactly the right moment, walking into the biggest paycheck of her career with genuine momentum behind her, not just hype. Now, back to the money, because the numbers only get bigger from here. If Eala manages to reach the fourth round, the same milestone she hit at Wimbledon earlier this year, she'd guarantee herself $480,000, close to 30 million pesos. Push through to the quarterfinals, and the number jumps to $780,000. Make the semifinals, and she's looking at $1.45 million. Reach the final as the runner-up, and the check reads $2.8 million. And if she somehow goes all the way and lifts the trophy, $5.5 million. That's roughly 339 million pesos for a single tournament win. Sit with that for a second. 339 million pesos, available in a 2-week window to a 21-year-old from Quezon City. Let's talk about that mixed doubles slot for a second, because it's easy to overlook. Eala is teaming up with Felix Auger-Aliassime, a genuine Grand Slam-level partner, and together they are chasing a bracket where the mixed doubles champions alone will collect $1 million. Even a first-round exit there adds a real chunk of change to Eala's total, which is exactly why her guaranteed floor sits above $160,000 rather than just the singles number alone. 2 tournaments, 2 paydays. It also helps to understand just how fast this prize money has been climbing, because it puts Eala's guarantee in perspective. 2 years ago, the entire US Open purse sat at $75 million. Last year it jumped to $90 million. Now it's $108 million, a 44% increase in just 24 months. Tennis players across both tours have spent this season pushing organizers for a bigger slice of Grand Slam revenue, and New York has responded with the largest first-round payout in the sport's history. Whatever happens on court, Eala is stepping into the results of that fight, cashing in on a system that's suddenly paying early-round competitors like never before. Of course, Winning it all is far from guaranteed. The US Open draw is brutal, packed with the best players on the planet, and Eala will need to navigate rounds against opponents who've made deep runs at majors before. But that's exactly why this story resonates the way it does. It's not really about whether she wins the whole thing. It's about how far she's already come, and how much further the ceiling has risen for her and for the sport back home. There's also a quieter, more meaningful side to all of this. Talk to Eala herself, and money rarely comes up. Ask her about preparing differently because of what's at stake, and she'll tell you she just goes with the flow, that the court is the same size no matter where she's playing, no matter how much is riding on it. That kind of steadiness is part of why she keeps performing on the biggest stages, tournament after tournament, without the pressure seeming to touch her game. What money can't fully capture is what her presence means to the Filipino community in New York, one of the largest Filipino populations anywhere outside the Philippines. When Eala takes the court at Flushing Meadows, the stands fill with flags, with families, with fans who've been following every single point of her career since she was still a junior. She said herself that having that crowd behind her makes the tournament feel like a home game, even though she doesn't technically have one on tour. It's worth remembering, too, that Eala didn't arrive here overnight. She turned pro back in March of 2020, a teenager grinding through smaller ITF events, chasing ranking points in cities most casual fans have never heard of. There were titles at the lowest tiers, long bus rides, modest paydays that wouldn't cover a single night in a New York hotel today. The distance between that version of her career and this one, where a single win can be worth more than 300 million pesos, is the entire story here. It's not a lucky break. It's years of incremental progress finally colliding with a tournament willing to pay historic sums to the players who show up and compete. So as the draw unfolds this week, keep an eye on more than just the scoreline. Watch how far this run can go, because every single round Eala survives adds not just prestige, but a genuinely staggering amount of money to her name. 9.8 million pesos is already locked in before she's played a single point. What happens next could turn that into the biggest payday any Filipino athlete has ever seen. And if her 2026 season has taught us anything, it's that betting against her right now might not be the smartest move.